Alright, we're at 1913 Fountain Ridge. We have jetted the sewer line, and I just spent probably about 3 hours back and forth with the cable machine, which you see behind me, with various heads and the camera, and we got every root removed, which is great. And there was some sediment, a lot probably. If I had to guess, 20 pounds worth of things, little chips and rocks and stuff that were knocked off the walls that I had to get out of the pipe too. But it is pretty clean now. We're going to see a little bit of debris down near the end of the line, but it's just little flakes. They should go on down after some time. I did 2 whole house flushes, basically filling up every fixture in the house and dumping it all at once, trying to flush this stuff down, and finally got majority of it to go down. And by the way, this is this is the new clean out that we installed. So you will be able to see that at the transition from PVC to cast iron, that there's no longer a funky lip anymore. See that nice smooth transition there between PVC and cast iron. So that's how it's supposed to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and zero out the footage. I'm going to scoot it back a tad. Alright, so we're at the bottom of the clean out near the house. And we're sitting on 0 right now. This cast iron, if you remember the old video, it had a flat bottom. That was likely due to grease buildup of some sort, and it had just hardened and coagulated over the years. And you can actually see some old remnants of it that look like kind of like broken tiles on the right and left. It was pretty hard stuff, but between the jetting, got about 80% of it, and I was able to get the rest just by going back and forth with my cable while running water at the hose bit back here. So the bottom of this pipe looks really fantastic now, especially for its age. There's a little bit of flatness right there that I'm seeing. That's kind of the whole bottom of a pipe was like that, but it's still knocked down at least a ½ inch, and you can see the camera kind of bump over it. You know, it's not perfect. So, but we got a bunch of stuff out of there because all of that sediment I knocked loose, and the jet knocked loose, ended up in the terracotta portion of the line. And when I first put the camera down here today, it was so, I think today's the 4th or the 5th of August, it was so full of sediment down there in the terracotta that I couldn't even get my camera head to go past it. Pretty crazy. So you can see that just discoloration at the bottom. That's all the stuff we knocked off. Again, here's the city clean out that's buried and hidden. Talking to Andrew, I don't think it's a huge deal to really work on uncovering that. We're at the bottom of a 45. And now we are through. So we basically dropped down about 3 or 4 foot in depth, and now we're getting super deep. Here's a transition between cast iron and terracotta. So this pinkish pipe is the terracotta. You can see this joint right here. There's some roots coming in at the top. Those were cut back a lot versus our first video. And then we had this guy right here. I have no idea what it is, but it does not move. It looks like it's glued or concreted, or it could just be old grease that won't break loose. But it is on the bottom of the pipe. And you can see I'm going to have to bump up over it, so it's not your best case scenario, but that is as good as it gets, because I've flushed and cabled and flushed and cabled. So you can even see at this joint there's a little bit of roots trying to come through. but they've all been cut back, and I think this section of terracotta right here is where the majority of the roots were last time, and they were still there. A good percentage of them were still there even after the jetting, but that cable head, when I put it down there, it cleaned it out pretty well, and this was actually where all of the sediment was piled up. So as you can see now, it's completely clean. Like I said, it was probably 20 pounds worth of sediment just sitting right there. So here's another one of those kind of black blobs. I have no idea what they are. I think it's just a grease deposit at the bottom. They're not rocks, they don't move. I've cabled over them and cameraed afterward multiple times, and they haven't moved position at all. So again, next terracotta joint, a little bit of roots coming in on the side. Very normal for terracotta. This is a terracotta joint that's, as you can see, is just misaligned, but it's misaligned the good way, to where it's a drop off and not a lip. And I think we might have a little bit of a back grade or a belly right here, and here is the remaining bit of all that kind of flaky sediment. That's all that's left, is that just a little bit on the bottom, and I've tried to do 2 more flushes and cannot get that stuff out. But it's just flakes. It's really small stuff. I don't think it's going to stop up the house or anything. So like I said, being that it's still holding water is telling me that there's either a lip down here, which I don't think it is, or there's just a slight back grade in the pipe. So maybe it is a lip right here, I can't really tell. But this is the entrance into the city main right here. So we're all the way to the street. So all around, pretty much good news. I do think that the line's gonna have to be maintenanced, at least maybe once a year, once every 2 years at the most. I mean, we'll be able to tell what root growth is doing just by coming out here and popping a camera in a year from now. But it looks like the cable machine is kind of the way to go with getting those roots cut. Because like I said, after I cambered it post jetting, there was still a pretty large portion of roots at the worst section in the piping. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video there, but that's pretty much it. I think we're good.